This is the Waterboy with your daily news brief for Wednesday, January 26, 2022. Are you ready for the cross-politic West Coast Liberty Tour? Yeah. You probably aren't because you're now just telling you about it. Yep, I even read that weirdly too. We are going to be in 3 cities filming 3 live shows with a number of amazing guests, so mark your calendars for March 16th. We'll be in Fort Worth, Texas, April 7th in Rapid City, South Dakota, in middle of May, most likely, for Phoenix, Arizona. Mark your calendars. Tickets will go on sale a month before each event, and will go fast. I mean fast. Our guest in Fort Worth, this is what I can tell you right now, include Dr. Peter McCullough, Blaze TV and personality host and current candidate for governor in Texas, Chad Prather, and Pastor Doug Wilson. Yeah, that's Fort Worth. That's just Fort Worth alone. Tickets go on sale February 15th, and Cross Politic Club members will get first dibs on selling out our venue in Fort Worth. Website links and details will be up soon, so mark your calendars, join the club, and we'll see you in Fort Worth. I'm excited to be on the road. Biden administration withdraws COVID vaccine mandate for businesses. According to Crim 2 News, the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration has announced that it will be formally withdrawing the Biden administration's vaccine and testing mandates at private workplaces. But according to the Daily Wire, OSHA is leaving a possible backdoor open for future revisions to remake the rule. Yes, although OSHA, this is coming from OSHA, is withdrawing the vaccination and testing ETS as an enforceable emergency temporary standard. Oh my goodness. OSHA is not withdrawing the ETS to the extent that it serves as a proposed rule under Section 6C3 of the Act, and this action does not affect the ETS status as a proposal. Listen to this, under Section 6B of the Act, or otherwise affect the status of the notice and comment rulemaking. Okay, affect the status of the, let me repeat that again, of the notice and comment rulemaking commenced by the vaccination and testing ETS. See, there's all these sections, blah, blah, blah. The memo said, signaling the agency's intent, listen to this, to revise and remake the rule. They want to keep that around. They want to try to remake that rule. No, thank you. Republicans need to take note and dismantle all these bureaucracies if they are going to take back the House and Senate. Hopefully they take back and get rid of them all. Good riddance. Out of here. Michigan State University allows nearly 15,000 basketball fans at sold-out games, but shuts down in-person learning in January. Classic education move here. According to the Blaze, Michigan State University won't allow for in-person learning until the final day of January, but at the same time had no problem opening up the school's arena for nearly 15,000 screaming fans to attend every Spartans home game this month. Yeah, that's January. On December 31st, Michigan State University President Samuel L. Stanley Jr. announced in a letter that the school's spring 2022 semester would commence on January 10th virtually. Yeah, not in person, virtually, and continue to be remote learning until January 31st. Given this intense surge in cases, we now feel the best decision for our campus is to start classes primarily remotely on January 10th and for at least the first 3 weeks of the semester, writes Stanley, who uses the preferred pronouns he and him in the letter. Oh my goodness. MSU student Blake Mayday, I think that's right, told Fox News the fact that students can fill the arena packed shoulder to shoulder for hours before the game for the entirety of the game and be together for, probably 3 hours at night with no social distancing, not even including all the outsiders being brought onto campus. It's wildly hypocritical. It's just dumb is what it is. I won't even call it hypocritical. Dan Olson, the deputy spokesman for Michigan State University, issued a statement to Fox News regarding the situation. Okay, this is Dan Olson, all right? Deputy spokesman, huh? Athletic events are optional events that students or the public can attend. Oh, so the problem is the Omicron variant's optional. It only goes to non-optional events, unlike classes which are required for our students to progress toward their degree and graduate. Olson said, our decision to start the first 3 weeks remotely was difficult and was influenced by 2 key factors. One factor was that I'm part of public education. No, I'm sorry. One factor was the uncertainty at the time of the Omicron and having some time to understand it and its impact better. Oh, okay. Hey, speaking of, fake education, fake, rules, fake social distancing, fake, theater education. How about let's call it that? This ad is for those looking for something other than a 4-year college degree from Michigan State University. College is great. But not Michigan State University. But it's not for everyone. Cornerstone Work and Worldview Institute seeks to fill the gap. Our mission is to build the kingdom culture in the workplace through our integrated program of worldview instruction and on-the-job skills training under the guidance of mentors. I love that. We offer courses in Bible, theology, economics, as well as business, project management, and marketing, and more. And we provide our students with internships with one of our business partners so that they can learn and gain practical skill. I caught you. You're paying attention to the ad now. We invite you to join our mission to provide Christians another educational opportunity. Together, we can help our students grow confident in their faith and competent in their labor. Visit us at cornerstonework.org. That's cornerstonework.org to learn more, to enroll, and to partner with us. Okay. John Stockton's interview in the Spokane Review went viral. Okay. This is kind of hitting my basketball, my love for the game here. I love John Stockton. I love this interview in the Spokane Review. This was a good interview. And so read the whole thing. It's in the notes. But what was most encouraging about it is the fact that John is willing to stand up for what he believes is right, despite the strain he knew this would put on relationships. Stockton is ranked in the top 75 all-time greatest NBA players, and no amount of accolades are worth the cost of truth. So I grabbed a couple highlights from the interview, and I'm going to read them to you, but you should go read the full interview. And Stockton was speaking a lot of truth about the COVID stuff. So Spokane Review asked John, what was your initial reaction to the onset of the pandemic in 2020? It really started the week of the WCC tournament. That's the WAC tournament. Gonzaga plays in the title game. Then suddenly the NCAA tournament is shut down. How long does it take to form opinions on everything that's going on with the lockdowns and eventually vaccines, masks, and everything else? Yeah, you remember they shut down the NCAA tournament? Ridiculous. Stockton says this. It's pretty quick. I remember writing a paper trying to have some influence where I may have it right when it all started with Rudy Gobert testing positive with the Utah Jazz, which is obviously very close to home. Here, he's warming up for the game. He doesn't even feel bad, and the world shuts down. And then one university after another university until the conferences shut down and the tournament shuts down. Not one additional piece of evidence was offered for why each one did. To me, it's perplexing, but yeah, right from the start, I was contemplating it, thinking it through, and seeking out more and more information. Why does John have to provide evidence? Why didn't each university provide evidence? Because they couldn't. Spokane Review asked this. They follow up with this. A counterpoint, so this is actually further down in the interview, but they asked, the Spokane Review asked the question, the CDC reported this week that the booster shots are 90% effective at preventing hospitalizations with the Omicron variant. Here's Stockton's reply. Top 75 NBA legend here. Stockton says, almost everybody I know that currently has COVID or has recently tested for COVID has been double vaxxed and boosted. My personal experience says otherwise. Statistics from South Africa, from Scotland, from the UK, who's now, their prime minister recently said they were not doing the mandates anymore, came out publicly and said that those are indicators to me that we're not getting the true story. The numbers in South Africa are significantly better in multiples than they are in the United States, where they haven't taken on those mandates where we have, vaccines and so forth. Spokane follows up Stockton's answer with this question. When you say your personal experience, do you mean your personal experience with having COVID? Stockton replies, with people that I know personally that have COVID, they have tested positive recently, whether it's Omicron, whatever COVID is these days, is they've almost all have been double vaccinated plus the booster. So I look at it as more as a side effect than I look at it as an outbreak of COVID. Last question here. So Spokane Review asks, you were raised Catholic. The Pope has called it a moral obligation to receive the vaccine. What's your response to that, and does that impact your decision at all? Stockton says, no, not at all. Spoken interview, quick follow-up. Any way you could elaborate on that? Stockton says, I think we count on certain people in certain institutions to stand up to what's best for us, and it's disappointing when those things don't happen. Ooh, love it. A lot more there to that interview. I kind of hit a smattering of highlights for me on all this. And then now, Jabari, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, says Stockton vaccine comments make athletes look like dumb jocks.
Statements like that make the public look upon athletes as basically dumb jocks for trying to explain away something that is obviously a pandemic. And the best way to fight pandemics is through vaccination and testing. Those are the means by which we identify the problem and do our best to mitigate it. And I don't understand anyone saying anything else that makes sense. Doesn't make sense.
Ha! That's a hilarious clip. Stockton didn't make athletes look like dumb jocks. LeBron, he defended China over Hong Kong. He made athletes look like dumb jocks. Coach Steve Kerr makes jocks look dumb every time he pulls his mask down during a game to communicate with his players. It was incredibly dumb to watch young, super athletic players play hard and physical, and when subbing out of the game, they would go sit in chairs 6 feet apart on the bench. This dumb jock list can go on, and I'm sure you are, thinking of some arbitrary dumb rules yourself. But Jabbar, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, won't point these out because he's not thinking clearly, and he doesn't have permission to think clearly. Once someone like Stockton starts to think and say things outside of the literal COVID narrative, they will call you dumb, stop engaging with logical arguments because they don't have logic, and shut their ears and light their hair on fire because to them, that's logical. Biden, Doocy, Gaffe. I need to set this clip up before you hear it. Peter Doocy, Fox White House correspondent, I don't know if you followed him the last couple months. He's had some fun back and forth with Biden. He asked Biden on the way out of a press conference if he thinks inflation is a political liability. And here is President-in-Chief, the guy Big Eva was saying is nicer than Trump. Well, here's what Biden had to say in response.
Do you think inflation is a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
So Biden says, what a stupid son of a bitch. Remember the definition of a political gaffe? Well, it's what they really think but accidentally say. That's a gaffe. The liberals really do believe conservatives are dumb. And even more, you add to that Christian conservatives, they really think they're stupid. But hold on here. Listen to Peter Doocy, then ends up on Sean Hannity later that night, and here's what he had to say in response to Biden's gaffe.
After years of clips of the president and I kind of mixing it up on the campaign trail and during the transition and here at the White House, within about an hour of that exchange, he called my cell phone and he said, "It's nothing personal, pal." And we went back and forth and we were talking about just kind of moving forward. And I made sure to tell him that I'm always going to try to ask something different than what everybody else is asking. And he said, "You've got to." And that's a quote from the president, so I'll keep doing it.
All right, I want to be your negotiator here. And I would like to negotiate a 20-minute sit-down with you and Biden, one-on-one. I think that would be, I'm a Christian. I believe in forgiveness. Okay, did he apologize?
He cleared the air, and I appreciated it. We had a nice call.
That's not an answer. Did he apologize? That doesn't sound like an apology.
He said, "It's nothing personal, pal."
Oh,
and I
pal.
told him that I appreciated him reaching out. Hey, John, the world is on the brink of like World War III right now
I get
with
it.
all this stuff going on. I appreciate that the president took a couple minutes out this evening while he was still at the desk to give me a call and clear
At least
the air.
he called
And
you
that's all.
pal.
But you know what? I don't need anybody to apologize to me. He can call me whatever he wants as long as it gets him talking.
Hilarious. Peter Doocy was glad that Biden was actually talking finally? This is Gabriel Wrench with Cross Politic News. Support Rowdy Christian Media by joining our club at fightlaughfeast.com, downloading our app, and head to our annual Fight Laugh Feast events. As I've already mentioned, we got a spring tour coming. With your partnership, together we will fight outdated and compromised media, engage news and politics with the gospel, and replace lies and darkness with truth and light. Go to fightlaughfeast.com to take all these actions. Have a great day, and Lord bless.